The night before the wedding, I was hit by my fiance's childhood friend's car, causing a massive hemorrhage. My life hung in the balance. My best friend called my fiancée, but she hung up on him immediately because she was taking care of her childhood friend. My best friend then called his own girlfriend, a top celebrity with vast connections, but she also refused. After a night of emergency surgery, my best friend and I looked at each other in the hospital room and said in unison, "I don't want to get married anymore." To our surprise, both women went crazy when they received the breakup notice. After a full week of not showing up, my fiancée, Zhao Shuya, finally called. I answered, only for her to immediately start grilling me. "Zhou Qin, what the hell is wrong with you? Both families have already settled on the wedding venue and date. You just decide to call it off? What exactly are you trying to do?" I was about to speak, but she cut me off with a barrage of complaints. "How many times have I told you, Jibai isn't well, a simple cold can easily turn critical. I have to stay by his side to ensure his safety. How can you be so jealous, showing no regard for human life?" Human life. I couldn't help but smile bitterly. Last night, I went alone to finalize wedding arrangements, only to be struck by a speeding truck on the way home. As I lost consciousness, I used all my strength to call Zhao Shuya, but only received a cold, busy signal. Rejected, twice. Not until I was completely unconscious, with blood smudged on the screen, did a message alert pop up. It was Zhao Shuya, sending an impatient WeChat message. "What is it? Hurry and say." Seeing I didn't reply instantly, she quickly sent another. "Are you sick? Do you have to interrupt me comforting Jibai at this moment? Do you know Jibai's emotional state is fragile and could be life-threatening?" Before and after I woke up, Zhao Shuya was just endlessly blaming me. My phone was suddenly snatched off. By my best friend, Luo Yu, who had just walked in. "Zhao Shuya, are you out of your mind? Zhou Qin was in a car accident last night. The driver maliciously ran him over twice. If he hadn't been rushed to the hospital in time, he wouldn't be here right now. Can't you tell the difference between a cold and a car crash?" Zhao Shuya on the other end of the line scoffed. "You're spouting such lies to a professional doctor, Luo Yu. You really overestimate both your IQs." With that, she hung up without hesitation. Luo Yu listened to the dial tone, his hand clenching the phone, veins popping on his palm. Almost immediately, his phone rang. It was Luo Yu's fiancée, also Zhao Shuya's childhood friend, Fu Jingjing. "Luo Yu, what are you two trying to do? Do you know that because you're here being jealous and lying, Jibai got agitated and nearly had an attack? If Zhao Shuya and I weren't here, what would Jibai have done today? Can't you see this is a matter of a human life? Our Fu family will not let someone as malicious as you enter our home. This marriage, you can have it or not." Luo Yu was so furious he was about to swear, but then he saw Fu Jingjing had already blocked him. "I swear to God, their whole family." I weakly grabbed his hand. "Don't be angry, Luo Yu. They're not worth it." Luo Yu looked at the electronic equipment connected to me, asking worriedly, "Zhou Qin, does it still hurt?" I smiled and shook my head. It didn't hurt anymore. I had heard enough the moment Zhao Shuya hung up the phone. To distract ourselves, Luo Yu randomly pulled up a variety show for me to watch. We munched on snacks and commented. "This guy's looks are terrible, like a weasel face. Definitely a pure comedian. This part is so fake, feels scripted." But soon, we weren't laughing anymore. On the screen, there appeared none other than Fu Jingjing, the top celebrity. Luo Yu's face went dark, and he kept muttering about bad omens, wanting to change the channel quick. But Fu Jingjing's voice coming from the screen stopped him. It was one of those sentimental moments common in variety shows. Fu Jingjing looked at the camera, her peach blossom eyes full of deep emotion. "My biggest regret is that I didn't confess my feelings to a certain boy." The people beside her were egging her on, asking questions, but Luo Yu's hand was clenching tighter and tighter. I gently patted his arm in comfort, but my heart was filled with bitterness. Although Fu Jingjing was engaged to Luo Yu, she never wanted to go public. She only said it would affect her traffic in normal work. Even with Fu Jingjing's family background, entering the entertainment industry was just a pastime when she was bored. The more Luo Yu brought it up, the more Fu Jingjing would lose her temper, constantly accusing him of not understanding her and not cooperating with her work. But she didn't see. Every time she got a negative trending topic, how Luo Yu would work tirelessly to handle PR and counter the negativity. Every time she had a new show airing, how Luo Yu would help promote it and build momentum. Luo Yu once said he knew entering the entertainment industry was Fu Jingjing's dream. So he was willing to use all his strength to lift her to the very top. However, in Fu Jingjing's eyes, everything Luo Yu did was just a means to keep her, a prop in a jealous game. She firmly believed that the person who understood her the most in this world was only her and Zhao Shuya's shared childhood friend, Su Jibai. Seeing the worry in my eyes as I looked at Luo Yu, he forced a smile. It's okay, Zhou Qin. We already decided to call off the engagement, didn't we? After this, we just need to inform both sets of parents, and this whole thing will be over. We'll be free. I nodded in silence. But I didn't expect it. That evening, I received a call from Zhao Shuya. On the other end, she said unhappily, Zhou Qin, why are you being so unreasonable this time? Bai had a cold, I was just going to help him. Do you have to think of everything in such a dirty way? Just because of this little thing, you won't even come to the pre-arranged banquet. Both families are here now, just waiting for you. Zhou Qin, I advise you to be sensible. Don't make me come get you myself. In the past, being lectured by Zhao Shuya in such a cold manner would leave me heartbroken. But now, facing her angry accusations, I just said calmly, Zhao Shuya, since I'm breaking off the engagement, there's no need for me to attend this banquet. The words break off the engagement ignited Zhao Shuya's fury again. I heard her raging, do you know your behavior right now is just petty male rivalry? Zhou Qin, I never knew you were such a ridiculous guy. I took the initiative to call you, is it that hard to just come down a step? Everyone is here waiting. How long are you going to keep this up and embarrass yourself? You have to come today. Tell me where you are, I'll come pick you up now. I looked at the hospital-issued bed sheets and suddenly felt exceptionally tired. I'm at Anhua Hospital. You can come pick me up here. There was a 2-second silence, then a cold laugh came from the other end. Zhou Qin, you really don't even bother to make your lies convincing now. You're saying things like that just to make me coax you? I closed my eyes and smiled bitterly. I knew this would be the outcome. I knew that no matter what I went through, in her eyes, it wasn't as important as Su Jibai losing a single strand of hair. I knew everything, yet I still harbored foolish hopes. A sudden wave of nausea churned in my throat, and I leaned over the side of the bed, vomiting. Zhao Shuya seemed completely unaware, maintaining her high and mighty attitude. You can throw your own tantrums, but don't drag Fu Jingjing's boyfriend into it. They were supposed to meet the parents today to discuss the wedding date, and now he's not showing up. You can't handle our own relationship problems, and you're dragging others down, even learning to use your own life as an excuse. Zhou Qin, don't you think you're too malicious? If I humor you this time, what will you do next? Deliberately harm yourself to force me? Yes, no matter what happened, Zhao Shuya would always assume it was all part of my plan, just to manipulate her negligible sympathy. Even last year at a party, Su Jibai fed me something I was allergic to, causing an immediate high fever, and I nearly died. She just looked down at me, her face indifferent. Zhou Qin, the way you use these lies to deceive people is absolutely disgusting. Don't you just want to get into the Zhao family? You've already tricked my parents into agreeing to the engagement, and now you're still putting on this act? In Zhao Shuya's heart, I was just this malicious man, constantly using self-harming tactics to drive a wedge between her and Su Jibai. In the past, whenever she said something like this, I would try desperately to explain. But now, I just felt so tired. Too tired to even say a single word to try and salvage things. I said faintly, Zhao Shuya, I'm breaking off the engagement. After I recover, I will personally explain to your parents. I won't be attending today's banquet. After saying that, I hung up the phone. But I didn't expect it. Zhao Shuya actually came. Seeing that I was genuinely lying in a hospital bed, she immediately frowned. But before she could say anything, Su Jibai, who was following her, walked in. He habitually linked arms with Zhao Shuya, practically pressing his entire body against her. Su Jibai looked at me as if declaring his dominance, but forced out a hint of crocodile tears sympathy. What happened? Why are you like this, Zhou Qin? I'm sorry, Zhou Qin. I really wasn't feeling well that day, which is why Shuya went to see me. Don't be upset with her. Both our parents are still waiting for you at the hotel. How can you make things so difficult for th? And by doing this? His manipulative whining wasn't even finished before Zhao Shuya interrupted him. Zhao Shuya looked at him, her eyes full of concern. Jibai, you don't need to say these things to him. Zhou Qin, you're really going too far now. Do you think this act will make me yield to you? You must apologize to Jibai now. Apologize to both our families. This is your last chance. Otherwise, don't even think about getting married. I scoffed. Zhao Shuya, we are no longer together. Please take your boyfriend and get out of my room. Seeing that I mentioned her beloved Su Jibai, Zhao Shuya immediately became enraged. She raised her hand, and a heavy slap landed on my face. I was stunned. There was a faint taste of blood in my mouth. My ears were ringing. Su Zhibai let out a soft yelp and quickly grabbed Zhao Shuya's hand. Shuya, how could you do that? Even if Zhou Qin is faking it, it's just because you haven't cared about him enough. Didn't we say we should talk to Zhou Qin nicely when we came? Under his gentle soothing, Ao Shuya gradually calmed down. But she still looked at my face with disgust. Zhou Qin, when will you learn from Zhibai? While you're being jealous here, he's willing to be understanding and speak up for you. You even dared to fake illness and frame him earlier, aren't you ashamed? I slowly wiped away the blood from the corner of my mouth and looked back at her calmly. Zhao Shuya, whether I was really in a car accident, you just need to check the medical records outside or ask the nurses on rounds, and everything will be clear. Do you not have a mouth or a brain that you have to keep acting crazy here? Zhao Shuya sneered. Don't I know what kind of person you are? This time you even hired extras. I'm actually impressed by your acting skills, Zhou Qin. As we were at a standstill, the doctor pushed the door open and entered. He asked somewhat surprised, Senior sister, what are you doing here? Zhao Shuya was caught off guard seeing her junior colleague from her department and looked surprised. The doctor's eyes scanned between the three of us and immediately showed understanding. You and your brother-in-law are friends of Mr. Zhou, and you're here to visit him? Speaking of which, Mr. Zhou is really unlucky. He was run over by a truck 2 or 3 times before being brought to the hospital. Not to mention massive internal bleeding, he also broke several bones. If he hadn't been brought in quickly and we hadn't worked on him all night, right now. Zhao Shuya's pupils contracted sharply, and she looked at me in disbelief. Zhou Qin, you're really. The doctor, being overly familiar, took over the conversation. Yes, senior sister. Since you're here, could you take a look at my treatment plan? Mr. Zhou needs good rest and recovery, otherwise, it will seriously affect his future life. As the doctor spoke, Zhao Shuya's fists clenched tightly. Seeing the situation wasn't good, Su Zhibai quickly linked arms with Zhao Shuya, saying softly, Shuya, maybe we should talk to the doctor? It could also show our concern for Zhou Qin. However, Zhao Shuya didn't move. She was still looking at me, stubbornly asking, Zhou Qin, what you said, it couldn't be true, could it? I didn't answer, but instead called out to the doctor. My face hurts a lot. Could you please take a look? The doctor's gaze fell on my face and he immediately exclaimed, who hit a patient? That's awful. Wait a moment, Mr. Zhou, I'll get a nurse to bring some cold packs. Ignored by me, Zhao Shuya realized something more. She pulled her arm out of Su Zhibai's embrace and asked me in a trembling voice, Zhou Qin, were you really in a car accident? Zhao Shuya, what are you doing here? An enraged voice came from the doorway. Luo Yu had returned after buying something. He was always quick-tempered, and now seeing Zhao Shuya and Su Zhibai appearing together in my hospital room, he immediately exploded. Why? Oh, you two scumbags get lost? Haven't you caused Zhou Qin enough trouble? The more Luo Yu spoke, the angrier he got, directly throwing the shopping bag in his hand at Zhao Shuya. Get out, both of you. Get the hell out of here. Seeing someone accuse him like that, Su Zhibai quickly stepped forward, not to be outdone, to assert his presence. Luo Yu, I know you and Zhou Qin are close, but you can't treat Shuya like this. Zhou Qin didn't show up at the wedding banquet, so we had to come see him, out of concern. Besides, we didn't expect Zhou Qin to be so cruel to himself just to spite Shuya. Saying that, he even feigned wiping away 2 tears. Luo Yu saw that Su Zhibai was still subtly spreading rumors that I had staged the whole thing, and he became furious. He stepped forward and slapped Su Zhibai directly across the face. You can pick up other people's discards, but Zhou Qin and I don't want them. I wish you 3 all the best together, stuck forever. Just stay away from us. Su Zhibai shrieked, and tears quickly welled up in his eyes. Luo Yu, how can you just hit people like that? As Jingjing's boyfriend, don't you know you should control your behavior to avoid bringing her negative attention? I was really sick that day. Jingjing and Shuya came to help take care of me because of our long-standing friendship. If you're really unhappy, I'll even kneel and apologize. After you calm down, don't be so impulsive. He made a move to kneel, but Zhao Shuya didn't come forward to stop him. Su Zhibai looked back in surprise. Zhao Shuya was staring blankly at something that had rolled out of Luo Yu's shopping bag. It was a bag of soft candies. All this time, I had been taking care of Zhao Shuya's daily needs. I believed it was a fiancé's duty and put my heart into it. She was busy with work, always leaving early and coming back late, often missing meals. So I would put a bag of these soft candies in her purse. I once told Zhao Shuya that the thing I hate most when I was little was being sick because I was afraid of pain and bitterness. But as a child, I was constantly getting sick, always needing shots and medicine. Whenever I cried and made a fuss, my mom would pop one of these candies into my mouth. For me, this candy wasn't just comfort, it was a symbol of family affection and companionship. Zhao Shuya listened to me that day. Although she seemed impatient, she still accepted the bag of candies. Later, when I accidentally cut my finger with a knife, she saw me fighting back tears and took one out, feeding it to me. At that moment, I naively thought Zhao Shuya could remember what I said and might slowly start to accept me. But in the end, it was all my fantasy. Zhao Shuya, why could you remember Su Zhibai's birthday, his favorite restaurant, which shoes went with which pants? But you couldn't remember that someone who was afraid of pain since childhood didn't have the courage to injure himself just to gain genuine affection. Su Zhibai yanked Zhao Shuya suddenly, and she snapped back to attention. But she looked at Su Zhibai blankly. What is it? Su Zhibai gritted his teeth but still put on a fragile act. Shuya, Luoyu said he wants me to kneel to them before he'll forgive me. I'm sorry, Luoyu, Zhou. I know this is all because of me. Now I'll kneel to you, please don't be angry anymore. Zhao Shuya finally remembered to pull Su Zhibai up. But she no longer had her previous righteous indignation, just saying indifferently, there's no need for that. Zhou, you focus on recovering. I'll postpone the wedding, and we'll get married when you're better. Then, as if making a firm decision, she added lightly, I'll take leave from the hospital tomorrow and stay with you until you're discharged. Upon hearing this, everyone in the room's expression changed. Su Zhibai couldn't even keep up his pretense of gentle understanding, he just tugged at Zhao Shuya's sleeve, asking anxiously, Shuya, you're up for evaluation now. Taking leave isn't going to look good, is it? I know you care about Zhou, but you have to think about your own career. Zhou is just throwing a tantrum, it's nothing serious. Even if you're worried, you can hire some professional caregivers. Luoyu, like a protective mother hen, spread his arms and directly blocked me. Who do you think you are? Our Zhou doesn't need you. Zhou won't marry you, and he doesn't need your care. The best thing you can do for Zhou right now is to get as far away as possible. Zhao Shuya furrowed her brows. I knew her too well, just this gesture told me she was extremely annoyed. However, Zhao Shuya uncharacteristically didn't lose her temper. Instead, she softened her voice, trying to persuade me, who was shielded behind Luoyu. Zhou, please don't be angry. I'm a professional doctor, I know how to help you recover better. If you're still unhappy, I'll apologize to you. You know what's best for you, right? Through Luoyu's shielding arm, I looked at Zhao Shuya's face. It felt utterly unfamiliar. Even when apologizing, Zhao Shuya had that condescending air. Of course, she didn't think she was wrong at all. And she never knew that the phone call I couldn't get through was far more painful than the truck that ran me over. I gently pushed Luoyu's arm down, my face showing a coldness I had never shown Zhao Shuya before. Zhao Shuya, wake up. We're over. I don't need your care, and I don't need you to come here pretending to be a good person anymore. When I needed you most, you weren't there. Now, I don't need any of your compensation. Zhao Shuya had been indulged by me for too long. Usually, I would obey her every whim. So much so that she had never experienced being contradicted by me. A layer of anger surfaced in her eyes, but Zhao Shuya forcibly suppressed it. Zhou, what do you want me to do? Do I have to kneel to you too for you to be satisfied? The old me, seeing Zhao Shuya's attitude treating me like an enemy, would have been heartbroken. But now, my heart was calm, without sorrow or joy, undisturbed. After that, Zhao Shuya kept bothering me. She seemed to have forgotten the harsh words I had used to scold her. She just came to my hospital room on time every day, bringing tea and water, as if clocking in for work. Luoyu initially cursed at her endlessly, even locking the door, refusing to let her step inside the room. But soon, Luoyu didn't have the energy to manage my affairs anymore, because Fu Jingjing started bothering him too. At the dinner where the parents were supposed to meet, Luoyu, who always prioritized Fu Jingjing, was absent. Afterwards, Fu Jingjing received a breakup notification from Luoyu. Fu Jingjing initially didn't take it seriously, thinking I had instigated Luoyu to throw a tantrum together with me, putting pressure on her and her friend. She assumed that after we were done making a scene, we would apologize and beg like before, and return to catering to them like nannies. However, Fu Jingjing waited like this for a week. Not only did Luoyu show no intention of returning, he even called a moving company and moved out all his belongings from her place. Fu Jingjing was enraged, detaining the movers and demanding Luoyu come out and explain himself. Luoyu showed up, gave her a piece of his mind, and verbally tore her apart. This scene was even captured by paparazzi. Without Luoyu diligently working behind the scenes on PR and countering negativity, the video quickly went viral across social media platforms. In the video, Luoyu stood with one hand on his hip, pointing a finger at the A-list celebrity's nose, yelling without any regard for his image. Fu Jingjing, don't think your little bit of fame is real fame. For years, I've been helping you manage your data, maintain your fans, doing everything I could behind the scenes. If we could split shared assets after breaking up, I deserve 80% of your fans. Did you really think I enjoyed seeing your sour face strutting around in front of me? You're nothing but a pretty face who needed me to feed you lines and guide your delivery for acting. When are you going to split the money spent on your acting coach with me? At least show some gratitude for all these years. You always said going public would disappoint your fans, then you turn around and reminisce about your white moonlight on a variety show. I thought my existence was somehow damaging, but now I realize I probably wasn't even as impactful as your fake 5 feet 9 inches height. Watching the figure in the video, exploding like fireworks, leaving Fu Jingjing's face pale and flustered, I couldn't help but laugh. But laughing to the end, my heart was left with only a faint sense of emptiness. Luo Yu once had a dream of being in the entertainment industry. However, his family firmly rejected it, deeming it incompatible with his status. It was precisely because of this that when his parents requested him to interact with Fu Jingjing, Luo Yu immediately agreed. In his eyes, Fu Jingjing was someone who dared to challenge the family mission she was burdened with. Someone who bravely pursued freedom. Luo Yu, who had been suppressed and restricted for years, chased after the light on Fu Jingjing like crazy. But we didn't know that behind that dazzling light was a large, poor-quality incandescent bulb. However, when we, the exhausted moths, left this light, they became restless. What are you looking at, so engrossed? Zhao Shuya, who arrived at my room on time, stepped forward and took the tablet from my hand. You're a patient now, you need to focus on recovering. You shouldn't always be staring at electronic devices. I looked at Zhao Shuya's back and said calmly, Zhao Shuya, let's talk. Zhao Shuya's movements paused. She didn't turn around, just pretended not to hear, and turned to tuck the blanket around me. You need to keep the blanket on to prevent catching a cold. I was annoyed and pulled the blanket off the bed, throwing it directly onto the floor. Zhao Shuya, pretending to be deaf won't help. I need to talk to you. Zhao Shuya finally stopped avoiding my gaze. But her lips were still tightly pursed, her face full of resistance. Zhou Qin, I absolutely will not agree to break off the engagement with you. I'm willing to spend all my time taking care of you, but letting you go is impossible. I looked at her coldly. Do you know that the day I had the car accident, I called you twice, but you rejected both calls? No matter what you do now, it only reminds me that when I was lying on the ground so helpless, you were at Su Jibai's place, taking care of him like that. Zhao Shuya's arms tensed suddenly, and a hint of regret finally appeared in her eyes. Zhou Qin, listen to me. Su Jibai and I grew up together, I see him as a younger brother, so taking care of him is just a habit. That day, Jibai was really in a bad state. When was he ever not in a bad state? I stared into Zhao Shuya's eyes and asked, enunciating each word. On my birthday, Su Jibai said he was sick, and you abandoned a room full of friends, leaving me to be a laughingstock. When I was sick, Su Jibai said his house was too dusty and he couldn't breathe, so you went to stay with him, leaving me alone in the hospital room on 4 drip, unable to even go to the bathroom easily. Things like this happen too often, Zhao Shuya. Can you give me one example and tell me when Su Jibai was healthy and didn't interfere with our lives? Under my rapid-fire questions, Zhao Shuya lowered her head, speechless. Looking at the scene before me, my heart was filled with a sense of revenge. But this malicious satisfaction only lingered for a moment before gradually turning into a huge, crushing helplessness. All those, so many grievances. What kind of mindset did I have to endure them, and how did I convince myself repeatedly that it was okay? I remember now. The times Su Jibai was in the best state were when we were arguing. He was busy mediating between us, stirring up trouble in our relationship. Zhao Shuya, are you going to pretend you don't see these things? Zhao Shuya's lips trembled. Before she could speak, her phone suddenly rang. I recognized it immediately. It was Zhao Shuya's exclusive ringtone for Su Jibai. Zhao Shuya pursed her lips and hung up the call. But not long after, the ringtone rang again. Zhao Shuya looked at me pleadingly. Zhou Qin, I'm afraid he needs something. I scoffed and turned my back, pulling the blanket around me. From the phone, Su Jibai's weak voice came through. Shuya, can you come see me? My heart feels so uncomfortable, it's beating so fast, I feel like I'm going to die. I'm sorry, I'm always troubling you like this, but you know my parents are abroad, and the only people I'm close to now are you and Jingjing. Jingjing isn't answering my calls, I'm so scared I'll die alone today. Here we go again. Feeling unwell was practically Su Jibai's passive ability. No matter what he said, there would always be fools who fell for it. I scoffed, waiting for the sound of the door closing. But to my surprise, a voice as cold as ice came from behind me. Suji Bai, I'm with Joe Chin right now. If you need something, call 911 yourself. Don't call me again. Then, Zhao Shuya hung up the phone. She turned to me urgently, like a puppy seeking praise. Joe Chin, did you hear that? I won't leave you again. Please relax and recover well, okay? If Zhao Shuya had treated me this way before, I would have been laughing in my sleep. I might have even gone out and set off some fireworks. But now, facing her attempts to appease me, I just replied with a cold laugh. Zhao Shuya, see? You actually know how to treat someone well. You actually know how to alleviate my doubts, how to make me feel special to you. But you never wanted to do it. I turned my back to Zhao Shuya again, saying in a calm voice, Zhao Shuya, if you don't leave now, I'll call security. In the reflection of the mirror, Zhao Shuya's look of joy faded little by little. Her tone even had a hint of grievance. Joe Chin, I've been taking care of you like this, and you still won't forgive me? I know I didn't do well before, but now, I understand. The only person I love is you. With Suji Bai, it's just a habit I've formed over the years. Love? I laughed, shaking all over, laughing until tears streamed down my face. Zhao Shuya didn't know why I suddenly became like this. She held my body in panic, afraid I would lose balance and fall off the bed. Joe Chin, what's wrong? I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. Don't scare me. But I just laughed. I never knew. All of Zhao Shuya's disregard for me, her scolding, her false accusations, were all expressions of her love. Under Zhao Shuya's continuous efforts to calm me down, I gradually composed myself. Wiping the tears from the corners of my eyes with my knuckles, I picked up the tablet. I pulled up a diagnostic report and calmly handed it to Zhao Shuya. Zhao Shuya, if this is love, then maybe you'd be better suited with a robot nanny. I wouldn't curse at her with eloquent words like Luo Yu. This was the cruelest thing I could say. But the opposite effect occurred. Zhao Shuya's hands began to tremble. Her eyes slowly turned red. She looked at me with almost disbelief, murmuring, "This isn't true, Joe Chin. I beg you, tell me this isn't true." Seeing my expression unchanged, Zhao Shuya even knelt in front of me. She shuffled a few steps on her knees and leaned against my bed. This doctor, who had always been cold and heartless, grabbed the edge of my blanket and cried uncontrollably. Joe Chin, I'm begging you, tell me this is a lie, that you're deliberately trying to upset me and forge this report, aren't you? Hurry and tell me, Joe Chin. This is your trick. I just laughed, a miserable, despairing laugh. Zhao Shuya, you didn't misread. That car accident. I lost a significant portion of my internal organs. The tablet fell to the floor, the screen shattering into pieces. Zhao Shuya's eyes and the tip of her nose were crimson. Sounds like the wounded cries of an animal came from her throat. But I just watched her calmly and pressed the call button by the bed. Soon, security came up and escorted Zhao Shuya, who was clinging tightly to me, away. Buzz. A message from Luo Yu. Checked it out, Joe Chin. Your car accident was arranged by Suji Bai. For some reason, upon learning the truth, I felt a sense of relief, like I knew it. No wonder Suji Bai was able to precisely keep Zhao Shuya occupied that day. No wonder even Fu Jingjing was called away by Suji Bai. It turned out he had planned everything long ago, intending to drag me into hell on what should have been my happiest day. And what Zhao Shuya did was cut the spider silk I was holding onto. I thought for a moment and replied to him, send it to the Zhao and Fu families. They need this evidence more than we do. Luo Yu replied with an OK emoji first. Then, after typing for a long time, he sent another message, Joe Chin, I want to leave. What about you? I smiled. If you go, I go. We were best friends, doing everything together. Whether it was getting married, breaking up, leaving, or hitting back. Not long after, we heard that Suji Bai had gone crazy. We didn't know what means Zhao Shuya and Fu Jingjing used. Suji Bai wandered the streets every day, kneeling and confessing to everyone he met, saying he was an unforgivable sinner. These actions scared many passers-by. Eventually, he was admitted to a mental hospital. The day Suji Bai was confined to the mental hospital, Fu Jingjing and Zhao Shuya finally came to my hospital room again. They brought their parents and engagement rings, wanting to make amends to the two people inside. But all that was left for them was an empty hospital bed. Zhao Shuya and Fu Jingjing searched like crazy, but Luo Yu and I seemed to have disappeared, never to be seen again. Eventually, Zhao Shuya, due to chronic alcoholism, made a mistake during an important surgery and was fired by the hospital. A once promising chief physician now confined herself to her room every day, utterly decadent. And Fu Jingjing, because of that video, saw her popularity plummet rapidly and ultimately withdrew from the entertainment industry. After leaving the industry, she released a single titled To Luo Yu. The song was an instant hit upon release. It was even heard in the small town where Luo Yu and I were. But we just threw a few more items into our shopping cart and quickly left the supermarket. Annoying, Luo Yu said. I agreed. Yeah, really annoying.